Welcome to today's first class on the Kshatriya's mission, a spiritual warrior's purpose. So today we'll be covering who and what are the Kshatriyas and the 7 natural duties of a Kshatriya. So who and what are the Kshatriyas? The Kshatriyas are an ancient spiritual warrior class dedicated to protection, leadership, and discipline. The Kshatriyas discipline themselves to be ever ready to protect the community and its people and to study, grow, learn so that they can be leaders and administrators and help the community thrive and grow successfully. So the origin of the word Kshatriya comes from Sanskrit and refers to the class of warriors and governors. In Vedic culture, the 4 classes of society are compared to the human body, with the Kshatriyas representing the arms, the ability to provide, maintain, and protect the whole body. And so I think this is so important because to lay a baseline understanding, spiritual warriors, Kshatriyas, are the arms. And what that means is that the arms are able to protect the human body as well as to grab what the human body needs, right? And so when we look at the human body as a civilization, as the Vedic culture has said, then the focus here is that the arms are warriors because they defend what's evil from entering the community, and the warriors serve as administrators, governors, leaders because they bring the righteous, they bring the good into the community. And so they serve as that bridge to keep out evil and to secure good, to secure wealth, to secure plenty and abundance. And so that's the duty of us Kshatriyas. So Kshatriyas aren't born, they are made through action. If you're familiar at all with the Vedic culture, then you probably have an understanding, oh, it's a caste system and there's all this negative understanding around it, which is false. It's absolutely false. Kshatriyas aren't born, they're made through action. You're not just born a Kshatriya. You have to show through merit, through will, through conscious actions that you are a Kshatriya. The whole Vedic system was made to be fluid so that those who felt the calling to be priests could be priests. Those who felt the calling to be warriors could be warriors. But it was not supposed to be a limited, small-minded, hereditary system. This was a fluid, professional system based off of what inspired the individual and their karma. So you are a Kshatriya if you have the calling to proactively subdue evil and uphold righteousness. Your profession is chivalry. You wish to protect the rights of and provide opportunities for others. And so what I want to touch on in this specifically is your profession is chivalry, right? So if you have any familiarity with knights from the Western culture, knights' profession was chivalry, meaning that knights weren't there to make money. Their role, their career was honor, was devotion, was discipline. And so in the same way, the Kshatriya's career path, the Kshatriya's profession is Dharma. It's to uphold righteousness. It's to be honorable. It's to be that space, that warrior, that wall for the people. And so if you have this calling that you are not interested in money, you're not interested in anything else but to be of service, to live an honorable life, and to lead by example as a spiritual warrior, then you're in the right place, because then the next step is, are you actively subduing evil? Are you actively looking for ways to suppress the evil in our system and to uphold righteousness? And do you have that desire? And are you actively looking to protect the rights of the unfortunate, the less fortunate, and provide opportunities for people to help them grow? Because it's not just about fighting. The higher level is about leadership. It's about providing opportunities for other people. So in today's mission as a Kshatriya, it's about serving, building, and protecting world brotherhood colonies. World brotherhood colonies is the term given by Paramahansa Yogananda, our guru, to describe self-sufficient spiritual communities under the ideals of plain living and high thinking, and world brotherhood. So we and our devotion to our Guru Paramahansa Yogananda have committed ourselves as Kshatriyas, as spiritual warriors, to serve these communities, build these communities, and protect these communities. The duty of a modern spiritual warrior in our Kshatriya clan is to develop a global network of self-sufficient spiritual communities with the purpose of establishing a new system of living for the modern age. This is the best way we can combat the evils plaguing our global society today, developing true sovereignty against the corruption. And I've thought long and hard about this, because this has been my life's work, my life's mission from school time. I'm 25 years old, so maybe from elementary school, middle school, I realized that I wanted to bring a new way of life, a revolution, a renaissance of divine culture, of higher age living. And I thought about it from all different ways, and I saw that the main issue is that because we are dependent upon the current system, we are enslaved to it. So if we can create our own system where we have our own jobs, we have our own food, our own water, we create good air in our environment because we're growing trees and other things, then what do we actually need from the government anymore? Nothing. And so the idea is that we can separate through creating these sovereign spiritual communities. And us Kshatriyas need to be at the frontier, at the front line, to lead that charge and to create a new way, to create a spiritual revolution to bring about higher age living. And so the 7 natural duties of a Kshatriya are valor, radiance, resolute endurance, skillfulness, not fleeing from battle, munificence, and leadership. Valor, courage in the face of adversity. Having truth as our guide, we are always ready to act justly, knowing that whenever there is an injustice happening, to sit back and relax is to support evil, to resist is to support good. So this is critical, right? Because there are a lot of people in the name of ahimsa, nonviolence, that sit and watch evils happening in front of their face because they don't fight, they're not violent on all these things, right? And the thing that is taught again and again from biblical scripture to Hindu scripture, from east to west, from west to east, is that we must stamp out evil like burning embers so that it doesn't gather and create a wild, raging forest fire. And so it's our duty to be valorous and stepping up and confronting the evils and doing our part in whatever small way we can to bring about righteousness. Radiance, a presence that inspires strength and leadership, to be in harmony with the natural laws of health and well-being and the spiritual laws of morality and devotion to God, which develops divine magnetism. This is such an important quality, duty of the Kshatriya radiance, because it's so necessary to give this presence of strength and leadership and to abide by the natural laws so that we can have a clean bodily temple and our minds can be sharp and we can give peace and confidence to our presence. We want to be those people who, when we step into the room, when we step into the community, we can help the community feel more at ease, to feel safe, and to feel secure in our presence. And if we aren't doing that, we need to look at, are we following the natural laws? Is our devotion strong? Are we meditating daily? Are we eating clean? Are we fasting? Are we building up our strength? Are we being more devotional? Because like we're seeing Lord Hanuman right here in this image, it's a presence that makes us feel safe, makes us feel secure, and we trust in the guidance. And so as leaders, we need to be radiant in our own presence. Next up we have is resolute endurance, the ability to withstand hardship with unwavering faith, to consciously develop the ability to be even-minded under all circumstances, transcending self-created limitations to strengthen our body and mind. This is such another crucial, I mean, these are all crucial qualities and natural duties of the Kshatriya, because if we don't have the resolute endurance to stand up again and again and to be strong in ourselves, to not slack, we can't be warriors nor leaders if we don't have the resolute endurance to stand strong, because there are going to be hardships undoubtedly, and this path is not for the weak. The spiritual warrior path is not for the weak. It's not for the undisciplined, because you won't be able to make it on this lifestyle. And so from physical training that we have in our Kshatriya clan to the spiritual training we do, you need to have the resolute endurance to overcome all obstacles and to transcend all the limiting beliefs and understand that you can be and you are a son of God and you can fulfill your duty as a spiritual warrior. Next up, we have is skillfulness, mastery over oneself, physical, mental, and spiritual, to strive for excellence in everything, mastering ourselves to be of service to the divine. Skillfulness is another crucial quality as a Kshatriya, because we need to be skillful in the way we use our body, the way we learn martial arts and self-defense. Our minds need to be sharp. We need to understand governance. We need to understand leadership and other things that we can properly guide, support, and nurture the communities that we are here to protect and serve. And most importantly, we need to be spiritually skillful, being able to withdraw our consciousness within, because the clearer and the deeper our sadhana, our spiritual practices, the more attuned we are to God, the more we can act from a divine consciousness where we can do no wrong, where we are skillful in everything we do. So this quality is really pivotal for developing the right skill set to be a Kshatriya and to serve as a Kshatriya. Next up is not fleeing from battle. Never fleeing from duty or responsibility, to not be dismayed by seeming failures, but ever ready to try again until the goal is reached, understanding that you only lose when you give up. So not fleeing from battle is very similar to resolute endurance in a way that we should never turn our back on a fight. We should never flee from a battlefield, because it's just not appropriate, and in so many ways. One, just on very physical martial level, as warriors, to flee from a battlefield most times is considered a large crime. And so in this way, we have the physical battle and we have the spiritual battle. We need to not flee from our spiritual battle. We need to go against the senses and the things that hold our consciousness back, as well as we need to be ready to not turn our back on any battlefield of communities, because they're going to be difficult communities we have to build, and it's going to be easier ones. And just because something is difficult does not mean that we don't engage in that battle. And so as a spiritual warrior, as a Kshatriya, we need to be the first ones at the battlefield for our community, and we need to be the last ones to leave once we know we've secured it. But we never run. We don't turn away from a fight. We always lead by example in terms of going forward. We push through things, and strategically it's not a dumb mindless pushing, but it's that there's always a way forward, and we need to be skillful to see that way forward. But we never flee, we never run away. Next up is munificence, generosity and protection of those in need, to do unto others as you would do unto yourself, striving to see and serve at all times the one spirit dwelling in all forms of life. This is a beautiful quality and duty we have as Kshatriyas, to be generous and to willingly protect others, even if it causes our personal selves harm, because we as Kshatriyas, when we step onto this path, we need to let go of ourselves. We cannot put our egos and our personal ones above the people, And that, because if we do that, that's how tyranny and corruption happens. The reason why we have this negative view of kings and all that today is because we've been told again and again from stories of political leaders that they value themselves over the people, and so they take from the people. And there's a beautiful quote I love so much. It's the people weren't created for the sovereign was created for the people. And I want to expand this to the Kshatriyas were created for the people were not created for the Kshatriyas, in the way that our leadership is not to take from them, but it's to give everything we can to them. Because when we can see spirit, when we can see our soul, when we can see God and another person, we realize that we are serving ourselves. And that is one of the highest spiritual truths that will enlighten our souls very quickly, is that we can see that any person we help, we are helping ourselves. And that's why we're so willing to help and give. And the last natural duty of the Kshatriya is leadership. And this is, I would say, the most important, because it brings it all together. Because to be a leader, you must have value. You must be willing to take the lead. To be a leader, you must be radiant. You must have that quality. To be a leader, you must have resilient endurance. You must have that patience to withstand the crash of breaking worlds. To be a leader, you must be skillful in the way you speak, the way you talk, the way you act. To be a leader, you must have the quality of not fleeing from battle, because the leader flees, the troops, the soldiers are going to go into disarray. To be a leader, you must be generous with your time, with your energy, to help those in need. And so the main duty of a leader is to guide others towards righteousness, to lead by our own example of life, striving to act in harmony with the pure intention to bring out the greatest good and the greatest number of people. This is everything. Because when we look at avatars, like with Krishna right here with Arjuna, Krishna is a leader. He is bringing out the soul qualities in Arjuna. As Kshatriyas, we lead not only for efficiency in our organization and being able to execute better and to be able to grow the communities and guide communities better. That's all super important. But on a deeper level is to lead by our own example of divine lifestyle, of godly living, so that when we go to these communities, our presence is radiant and we are able to guide the community more effectively towards more perfect states of consciousness, more perfect ways of being. And what I mean by this is, like, we can bring the space of eating more raw foods, having a better diet to the communities, emphasizing a spiritual routine. And I saw this time and time again in my travels of going to different communities, where I would arrive and we would come and, like, okay, let's have a kirtan, let's have some spiritual chanting together, let's have some group meditation, let's have some meals together. So we create this, through our example, we create this communal energy and we bond the community together, and we lead from that space. And so this is the foundation of it all, is bringing out the greatest good in the greatest number of people. That is the leader's main duty. All right, so action steps. Reflect on why you feel called to this path. So after listening to this whole video on the Kshatriya's mission, at this point, if you're still feeling that calling, why do you feel called? Do some introspection, do some journaling, and see what about this resonates with you. And once you have that, please go to our Telegram community that you're in and share with us that insight you had, so that your fellow brothers and sisters can feel inspired by that, and we can have some exchange and dialogue about that. All right, my brothers and sisters, peace be with you.